Welsh Rally, and at the start at Cardiff Castle, Jimmy McRae.
Tell us a little bit about the event in general. How would you sort of sum up the character of the Welsh?
I've always enjoyed the Welsh stages, but the Welsh Rally in particular has never been all that kind to me. I've had the worst accident of my career in Wales, and we've always had niggling problems, so hopefully new team, new car, we'll leave all these behind.
Fair bit of opposition this weekend.
Yes.
Who would you pick out in particular? You've got a couple of ex-world champions.
Well, you just said two ex-world champions, Michael Sundstrom, David Llewellyn in his home country. I mean, he's obviously out to do well. And we've always got Mr. Brooks, there or thereabout, the Epping man.
Not a million miles away now, is it?
It's a good job I said that.
4, 3, 2, 1.
But heading the field in the Audi Sport Quattro, Hannu Mikkola, his thoughts no doubt overshadowed by the death the day before of his countryman, Henri Toivonen.
Open Rally Championship, open in the centre, invites drivers from.
On the Epent military roads, he set a steady pace, but he wasn't taking any chances, preferring to hold off until the tougher forest stages. The home crowd were watching David Llewellyn running at number 3 in the Austin Rover Metro 6R4. He dominated the early stages, not least through his knowledge of the home territory. But he faced a strong challenge from McRae, still coming to grips with his new Metro. After the tarmac, the car would face its first real gravel test, and the results would be interesting. In the reliable and trusted, if dated, Opel Manta, Russell Brooks. He was anxious to get a good result even if he was outclassed by being only two-wheel drive. He showed no signs of being beaten hands down, getting the most from his car. Mark Lovell had more than his share of problems in the Ford RS200, breaking a turbo pipe on just the second stage. The drop in power forced him to struggle early on, competing against lower-rated cars like the Vauxhall Astra GTE of Andrew Wood, who was to have a disappointing event. But a super drive in store for Louise Aiken-Walker in the Nissan 240 RS. Bob Fowden was to reach 8th overall before retiring near the end in his Rover Vitesse. By Esquire Daffyd, Llewellyn had led all the way and showed no signs of slowing. But McRae wasn't far behind, waiting for the Welshman to slip up. Michael Sundstrom was taking things gently to get a much-needed finish in his Peugeot 205. But Andrew Wood was having suspension problems and down on power. There was nothing slowing Louise Aiken-Walker's Nissan. After the death of Toivonen and other accidents in Europe, spectator control was being strictly adhered to. But apparently that hadn't applied to marshals, as Mikkola toured Epent with a time clock caught on his mirror. Llewellyn was still leading, but about to lose it with a high-speed spin. He'd forfeit it to McRae until he too lost it again through road penalties following fuel injection problems. Brooks hung on up to 10 seconds slower on each stage. And a short event for Mike Stewart, retiring on the 11th stage. In the 1300cc Vauxhall Nova, an eventual 15th overall and first in class for Harry Hockley. But a long trip from Iceland came to nothing when a broken half shaft round the next corner forced the retirement of Hafstein Edelstein. Making a guest appearance and putting in some valuable miles in the Ford RS200, Stig Blomqvist, who was to have a good run, settling into 4th place. Russell Brooks was just behind the group of four-wheel drives, making the most of his knowledge of the stages. And Sundström paced himself well, just following in Brooks' tracks. Lovell was taking the odd diversion, but by and large giving a good performance in the Ford RS200, once his earlier problems were sorted out. Wood had cured his engine problems and then crashed on the 16th stage, but for now pursued by Pentti Auricula.
Well, the rally started very well for us. We were about 45 seconds up on up to the end of the 7th stage, but then we had quite a fast spin and into a ditch on Eppint, and we were very lucky actually to still be in the race. We ripped all the front end off and we broke a wheel, and we struggled on 3 wheels to the end of the stage, and in fact only dropped 45 seconds to Jimmy McRae. Lost the lead to him obviously, but I mean we were very lucky to get out of it.
And how's the car performing?
Oh, the car is going great, fantastic. I mean, to stand up to what we've been doing to it, I think
so we're going to put
boats, stands it well, because we hit the ditch very hard, and I should think it put a strain on a lot of stuff, but the car's going well. Very pleased with it.
Russell Brooks, meanwhile, was reasonably happy with his efforts.
We're going as well as could be expected, really. Obviously, we're not competitive against the four-wheel drive cars in the forest. Although we're losing less time to them than we thought we might. We're losing something like 3 to 4 seconds a mile. Whereas on the RAC, for instance, we were losing 7 seconds a mile. We really put this down to some new suspension settings we've got. Having said that, of course, it means we're not challenging for the lead or anything. We're lying about 5th overall. We're not being pushed from behind. We can't do anything about the people in front of us. It's rather boring.
At this time last year, you were leading the event. You must feel a bit disappointed with the lack of power.
Yes, it shows you the way things have changed in a year, doesn't it? I mean, the Manta is now very uncompetitive.
Meanwhile, the Metro mechanics were keeping busy on McRae's car.
Oh, we've had lots of problems. We had fuel pressure problems last night, and they've had to change fuel pumps, valves, which has cost us about 50 seconds road penalty. Then in the last 2 stages we've had a puncture in each of them, so we've dropped quite a bit of time.
So where are you lying now?
I don't know. We've dropped behind David anyway. We know that. I don't know about Hanu.
What happened with the front of the car?
That was just a dip and a hairpin. It just caught the spoiler. Just pull the front of it off.
No radiator damage?
No.
Any other mechanical problems?
No, the car's been running all right mechanically other than the fuel problem.
So you're quite happy?
Yes, if everything was had continued going the way it was going, I would have been happier. However, a long way to go.
But Mikola had the bit between his teeth and put everything into it after the halt, taking the lead on the 25th stage. He sailed ahead, only on the last forest section losing time when the windscreen misted up. Llewellyn made a last attempt to catch him, but instead went too far and rolled heavily out of the rally, unhurt except for his damaged pride. Brooks ploughed on to register an excellent 4th overall, but even then 16.5 minutes behind Mikola. Blomqvist should have been 3rd. In spite of mechanical problems, he set some tremendous stage times in the Ford. But then, just 5 stages from the finish, the suspension collapsed and he was pitched off the road and out of the event. Better luck though for Lovell, who salvaged Ford's honour. 15 minutes behind the battle for first place, he took 3rd overall, having climbed back from outside the top 20. McRae did well, never running lower than 4th place and leading the rally for 11 stages. He battled with Llewellyn and then Mikola, and at the end was beaten by just 20 seconds. Simon Davison took his Nissan home 6th behind Louise Aiken-Walker, while David Metcalf was 7th in his Astra and 1st in Group A. The rally belonged though to Mikola, who stormed through the final stages to give Audi their 5th Welsh win in a row. And how close it was for McRae. Still feeling his way in the new car, he'd come so close to victory, only for it to slip through his hands. Further down the field there were minor battles too, with scores of club entrants in the 124 cars which started the event.
Hannah Riffalo and Arnie Hurst. Let's have a big hand for them. And of course, as you just said, it started to rain. We have Jimmy McRae and Ian Gringrod in the MD Metro.